So there's about 2 hours left, and by the time you see this, there might be a little bit less. But anyway, I am here with Jason, who is one of the reporters here at the Long Beach Post.
Jason Ruiz.
Yes. And I am Stephen Smith. I am the production coordinator. Jason, tell me what has been going on. What are the things you've been looking into and things you've been seeing?
So obviously, the reporters have independently covering different races going into this final, stretch run election night. But what I've been looking at is what does it mean when the dust settles? Not only locally but nationally. So obviously, locally seats will be filled, but nationally, like there could be implications where, if Trump wins, there are a lot of people in the city in city politics that are worried that aid to the city of Long Beach could be delayed further or reduced dramatically from what a Democratic spending bill could provide to cities that are trying to continue to fight off the coronavirus, but also eventually implement a vaccine and distribute it. That's going to be incredibly expensive.
So there are a lot of local implications from national elections. I know you've been doing some research into what would happen if there's a Biden victory, and that could implicate our mayor in some things. Tell me a little bit about that.
Implicate's a strong word. But we'll go with it. So if Biden wins, if you follow city politics at all, it's not a secret that Mayor Robert Garcia is pulling for Joe Biden. He endorsed him early. He endorsed him after Kamala Harris was no longer in the running to become the Democratic nominee. But if Biden wins with all of the surrogate work that Garcia has been doing, a lot of people think that will mean that he will get an appointment to a position either in the cabinet level or some other job in the administration, which means he would no longer be the mayor of Long Beach.
And what's driving this? Is it mostly speculation? Is it something that he said, or has he come out and say he's vowing for a higher position, or where are we hearing these kinds of things?
We're hearing them from sources who are close to the situation, as we like to say in this business. But there are people who I trust, people who have told me information in the past that turned out to be true. And the two of the people that have been rumored to possibly fill that vacancy should it open are a current council member, Rex Richardson, and our current assemblyman, Patrick O'Donnell. O'Donnell is actually up for election tonight to go back to the assembly. And I talked with both of them about this hypothetical situation where Mayor Garcia is no longer Mayor Garcia and maybe he's Ambassador Garcia or Secretary Garcia. And neither of them outright said, no, we're not planning for a mayoral run. They gave those really cool answers where it's an answer, but it didn't really address they said that they weren't ruling it out is basically what it all boiled down to. Is like, well, O'Donnell said, I respect that we have a mayor right now. It's one mayor at a time. And it should the opportunity present itself, I'm not going to rule it out. And Richardson said something similar.
Okay. So it's a giant hypothetical. First, it's assuming that Biden's winning, and it's assuming that mayor's leaving, but it could shuffle the entire.
Well, it is kind of a giant hypothetical because there are rumors, I guess if you want to call them, that money is already positioning itself behind these two hypothetical candidates. So while they both declined the idea that they are laying the ground, well, actually, O'Donnell said he didn't say he wasn't laying the groundwork. He said he's already laid the groundwork because he's essentially won citywide elections every time he's every time he's won an election to the assembly, because the assembly district covers almost the entire city except for North Long Beach. So he said, should the opportunity present itself, I think I'm pretty well positioned to win because I've basically been winning citywide elections for the past 6 years.
Interesting. Well, you also had a story run this week, actually today, I think, about you were talking to people from LA County and tabulating the election results and how long it might take before we actually get final results.
Right.
Tell me, what was that process like?
Well, as you can imagine, the people at the county registrar recorder clerk's office are very busy, and they were very busy last week. So I feel like there's this view that like reporters pick up a phone and then the other person on the other end like picks up and tells them all the information that they want to know. It took quite a few days to get the information that we got, but as of Monday, I was texting with one of the spokespeople from the county, and he said that over 3.1 million votes have already been processed. So LA County's not allowed to count them yet. They will throw they're out of the envelope. He was telling me they have this machine that takes the ballots out of an envelope, because I was like, man, that's a lot of people. That must take forever to take them out of the envelopes. He's like, no, we have a machine that processes it, but they're like ready to go, and they're just going to shove them in the machine. And these machines count hundreds or maybe even thousands of ballots per minute. And so at 8 o'clock, everybody who mailed in a vote or dropped it off at a ballot collection point, those ballots are going to go in the machine. And about 8:15-ish, maybe 8:30, they're going to report out approximately 3.1 million votes of the 5.6 million registered voters in the county. So 60%.
Okay. Yeah, so we have all of these votes that came in prior to Election Day. Today's the last day, so we count the mail-in and all the ones collected first.
And the people who voted early.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them, how long are they saying that they should know some of these, at least to the point where we can call some of these early races?
Right. So I pressed him on that, and I was like, so for context, Measure A, when it was approved in March, it took literally to the last day that the county had legally to certify the election to get a result on that. And it flipped on the last day and Measure A passed. This time I said, clearly you guys aren't going to, if you have 60% of the vote all ready to go at 8 o'clock, you're not going to take a full month to do it. And he said that, we're still going to take all of our time. We're not going to call any races early, but he did, agree that you will likely have a very good picture of where candidates stand closer to election night than the certification date, which is in almost December, I think, November 30th. We'll know closer to that tonight than November 30th. I would imagine about a week.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jason. You've done a lot of reporting, and we are looking forward to seeing the results like everyone else. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we will continue to provide these kinds of backgrounds and stories and election announcements throughout the night, and look forward to doing that. Feel free to check us out on all of our social media. We also have our live blog where the latest information from our reporters will be going, and you can see that at lbpost.com. See you next time.